It was supposed to be a rare celestial event. A lunar spectacle not seen in centuries, every headline screamed. People gathered in parks, set up telescopes, planned watch parties in anticipation. For weeks, all anyone could talk about was the blood moon. Nobody mentioned the danger. I was at Rachel's rooftop party the night it happened. There were maybe 15 of us, passing around drinks and joking about how overhyped it all was. Around 9:13, it began. The moon turned crimson, hanging low and massive in the sky. Everyone fell silent. It didn't look right. The edges were too sharp, the color too vivid, almost unnaturally so. It didn't glow like the moon should. It pulsed faintly, but rhythmically, like a beating heart. Rachel laughed nervously. It looks weird, right? Looks like a Halloween decoration, someone joked, but no one else laughed. People started taking pictures. I did too, at first. The photos came out strange. Blurred edges, warped shapes, as if the camera couldn't comprehend what it was seeing. It was mesmerizing in a way I couldn't describe. I put my phone down, feeling unsettled. Amy didn't. She was still staring at her screen, zooming in on the moon. That's when she screamed. It wasn't the kind of scream you let out when you're startled. It was guttural, primal, like she was in unbearable pain. Her phone clattered to the ground. She clutched at her face, raking her nails into her cheeks. "Don't look!" she shrieked, her voice raw and cracking. "Don't look at it!" Everyone panicked. People shouted, asking her what was wrong. She couldn't answer. She just kept clawing at her eyes, muttering things that didn't make sense. "They're inside! They're inside!" The murmurs started after that. People around us, my friends, began clutching their heads. My friends began clutching their heads, whispering things that didn't sound like their voices. "It's awake. Your bones are windows. Let it in." I turned to Rachel. "We need to get out of here." She didn't respond. She was staring at the moon, her face slack, her mouth moving as though she was trying to form words. Her eyes didn't look like her own anymore. Glassy, unfocused. "Rachel!" I shook her, but it was like she wasn't even there. And then someone on the other side of the rooftop whispered, "It's looking back." I turned to see who said it, but nobody was talking. They were all staring at the moon. Even Amy had stopped screaming, her eyes wide and unblinking. Her lips moved silently, like she was repeating some inaudible prayer. I don't know how I did it, but I grabbed Rachel and dragged her downstairs. People were collapsing on the rooftop as I fled, their bodies convulsing. I heard someone muttering, "Don't fight it. It's in us now." The streets were chaos. People standing motionless in the middle of the road, gazing up at the crimson sky. The news anchors later that night spoke in strange monotones, saying things like, "The tide is coming. Open yourselves to it." Rachel hasn't spoken since that night. She sits by the window, humming a melody I've never heard before. Sometimes, I catch her looking at her reflection in the glass and whispering, "It's in us now." The moon hasn't left the sky. It's bigger every night, redder, closer. People keep looking. They post pictures, even though the photos don't show the moon anymore. They show an eye. A massive, staring eye. And every time I see it, I swear I hear a voice in the back of my mind whispering, "It's your turn." I've locked the windows. I've avoided looking. But the whispers are getting louder. And I don't know how much longer I can resist. Thanks so much for making it to the end of this video. A quick thank you to my patrons: Mr. Sankofa, Austin My Love, Rinku Star, William Hartley, Cupcake Hips, Alonzo, Icy Narrates, and Jesse Hartley. I hope that everyone is having an amazing holiday. Don't forget the reason for the season. And on that note, if anybody has a prayer request, I would love to know how I can be praying for you. So go ahead and reach out to me on any of my socials, in the comments, over Instagram, anything. And also, if you're interested in becoming a patron, I have links in the description. But I also have links in the description for charities every now and then, or people who I think could really benefit from that. So if you are limited on money and you want to give to something, I'd much rather you give to them than to me, but it's ultimately up to you. Anyways, thank you guys so much, and I hope that you all have amazing, wonderful, happy holidays, and I'll see you in the next video.